Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Deziel and today I'm doing the style 211 from my booklet. We'll do the front bodice with a yoke and you'll see that the dart, both of them, they will be transferred into the seam. If you notice in the front, we have no more dart because we did eliminate both dart in the seam of the yoke. And I want to mention that there is a front opening here to let the head go through, and you need another opening. I put it at the center back. It's opening from the bottom all the way to more or less the bust level, and this is to be able to pass your shoulder. The first thing I'll do is to decide or to draw my style line. For this style, it's my yoke. I decide to keep the side of the shoulder dart as my style line, and what I'm missing, it's going to be the bottom part. The style I'm doing today add an angle just like that. The important is to touch the pivot. If you prefer to have a curve line, you could do a curve line. It would be the same thing. You know already that I'm tracing the style line on the block because I like to do direct pattern. We're going to trace the first piece. Right away, we'll trace from the center front style line, center front, neckline, shoulder, mark the shoulder or the notch of the dart, and indicate the pivot. Now we're going to trace the style line, so from the shoulder to the pivot to the center front mark that we did where we start tracing. Now we're going to trace the second piece, and like I usually say, you have to move your block more or less twice the seam allowance that you'll be using. A little more is always better, just like that. Now we're ready to do the second piece. We're going to start where we left, but on the other side of the shoulder dart, because we're eliminating the shoulder dart. So we're going to trace from the shoulder notch, shoulder, armhole, side seam, and the waist until the second notch of the waist dart. Of course, you indicate your pivot and hold it. I said to hold your pivot because we still have a little work to do. We have to close the bottom dart to be able to add this part to the side piece. We'll bring the first notch over the second one that we already traced, just like that. And we'll trace the part that is missing from the notch to the style line that we traced for the bottom of the yoke. Now we're going to connect the dot, so from the shoulder to the pivot to the center front mark that we have. Now what we would be missing are notches. I suggest on the longest part on both pieces, maybe 10 centimeter from the pivot up, from the pivot 10 centimeter up. For the small piece, you have the grain line parallel to the center front. You could see it easily. For the bigger part, the grain line is going to be parallel to the little part here that you have at the bottom. For the large piece that we're doing today, it's on the fold of the fabric. So I'm going to put the indication, and of course it's going to be cut just one time. For the yoke part, it's going to be cut 2 or even cut 4, and right on the center front, you could place the reference depending how many button and loops you want. Now we're going to place the seam allowance on the small piece all around and on the big piece everywhere except the center front. the pattern is finished, I'm just gonna cut all around. There's two more little things I'd like to add to your pattern. First of all, the large piece, I'd like you to add a notch right at the pivot on the large piece only. I don't think you need it on the small one because the angle is pretty sharp. The last little thing that could help is to mark your pivot so you could see it on the other side. Flip the small piece over the large one and align the inside pivot like that. You're going to place the top part one over the other like that and just cut the little point coming out. Those two little details, the notch and the corner cut, they're going to help you a lot while it's time to assemble. Thanks for watching. I see you next time.